What's going on, guys? This is ThatsYzanKhalil with another video speaking about the importance of failing. And what I mean by that, I know that may sound a little crazy, but it really is not. The reason why is because I feel like nowadays more than ever, we are being sold the we're being sold perfection, right? Everybody wants to be perfect. No one, on Instagram, everybody, we take selfies we take a million selfies and then filter them and edit them and then post the final product, right? So and like this essentially is being brought from the mainstream, the media, which is like all the so-called celebrities, and then like it's trickled down to us, and then since a lot of people look up to these people, which I don't think you should, but a lot of people look up to these people, and they want to be just like them. I want to be like the Kardashians or whatever the hell these people names are or whatever they do. And then we live our life basically trying to be like them and not really being ourselves. Which more importantly, I think now more than ever, is when we should want to fail. And the reason why I say we should want to fail instead of trying to be perfect, so, quote unquote, is because there's more lessons to be learned, right? If I always avoid failure and I always try to be perfect, then I'm never gonna actually take risks in life. Therefore, I'm going to slow down my ability to learn and move forward in life, right? I always like to use the analogy of tripping, right? So like, or actually the analogy of a baby, right? When we're kids, right, or rather when we're babies, right, like infants. When if you look at an infant essentially they start crawling, and then they end up eventually wanting to walk, right, and they take their first step and they fall, and then they fall, and then they take another step and they fall, and they get up and they take another step and they fall, and so on and so forth, until they start walking a little bit and then they fall again, right? And then essentially, and then they end up running a little bit, and then they fall, and then they run a little more, and then they fall, and the next thing you know, like they're fine, and they have learned to walk and run and so on and so forth. But right, the interesting thing is that they had to go through the failure, right? They didn't stand up and like tell their parents to take a picture of them just standing and then post it on Instagram and say like, look, I know how to stand now, or like like posted that little tiny clip of them just actually walking or running before they fell, right? And that's essentially what's happening nowadays, is like we're going about life and just taking that little tiny clip of us doing the perfect thing, and just displaying the perfection of it, instead of really, if you really wanted to actually stand out and really, you would do the opposite of what everybody else is doing, which is what I like to do. You'll end up actually you'll end up allowing yourself the ability to be able to see a lot further. Why? Because what we're seeing now is we're only seeing perfection, 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 perfection. So if I'm only looking in this direction of perfection, and then I go and look this way of imperfection, I already know what this looks like. So I start to see a little bit more, and I start to realize that actually this was the wrong thing that I'm leaning towards, or was leaning towards, and actually this is the real way that I should be going. and it just it allows you to move forward a lot faster, you know, because after every time that you fall, there's a lesson to be learned, and after every lesson is learned, you move up in the ladder, or you take another step forward in life, or another step higher up, right? So I mean, that's essentially what I wanted to get across. I don't want to give you guys a little too much to think about, but I think you should think about this and reflect over this, because this is a very important lesson in life. And another thing is that you want to implement as fast as possible. Don't hesitate, right? So like whatever you want to do, just do it without thinking of what this person is going to think or what that person is going to think. This is one of the most important things in life, and what will allow you to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life as fast as possible and as efficient as possible, because you're not afraid to fail like everybody else, because you know that with failure there's always a lesson, and with after you learn a lesson, you can implement the lesson, and you can move a lot forward, a lot faster forward than the other person that's avoiding the failure to begin with, and of actually essentially avoiding themselves the capabilities to learn a lesson, which is the most important thing in life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and there's a lot more to come.